Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Nathan wakes up with no memory of the past 7 years since Faison shot him. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At the hospital, Nathan wakes up and recognizes Nina. She can't believe he's here, hugs him, and asks how this is possible. Nathan has no idea what happened. She says she'll tell him everything she can, but needs to get a doctor first. What does Nathan remember? Nina rushes out and tells Anna that he's awake, and he's her brother. It's Jay. Isaiah comes out after checking on Nathan, says he's alert, stable, and there is a gunshot wound scar on his chest. Otherwise, he's in excellent health. Anna and Nina go in to see Nathan, and he recognizes Anna. Anna asks him what the last thing he remembers. The last thing Nathan recalls is Faison shooting him. He looks at the scar on his chest and asks if he's losing it, as it's all healed. Nina and Anna tell him that Faison shot him, but that was 7 years ago. Nathan can't believe this and asks if he's been in a coma. Nina tells her brother that he was declared dead, there was a funeral, and there is a grave. They all thought he was dead. Nathan asks if Maxie knows he's alive. Anna takes Nathan through the facts they know and fills him in about the car wreck he was found in, but he had no ID, and the car's records claim it was supposedly destroyed in Mississippi. Nathan says, "So I appeared out of nowhere and am missing 7 years of my life?" He tells them he needs to see Maxie. What does Porsche decide? Porsche storms into the hospital and runs right into Jordan. Jordan says she doesn't want trouble, but Porsche says there is none to be had. Porsche apologizes for blaming Jordan for the friction between her and Curtis, admitting the flaws between them were there from the beginning. She tells Jordan her marriage is over and walks off. Later, Isaiah stops by Porsche's office, and she tells him that she's reconsidered a future between them. He asks what changed, and she explains her marriage is over, and both she and Curtis know it. Way to make him feel like second choice, Porsche. Isaiah wants to make it clear they don't really know what this is between them yet, and he won't do anything to risk his job. Felicia listens in as James and Cody hang out at the stables. James says his mom always told him that his dad was watching over him, so does that mean his mom is also watching over him? Cody explains, unlike his dad, his mom isn't gone, but he's sure she's dreaming about him. Felicia heads inside, and Cody sends the boy to feed the horses. Cody can see that something is bothering Felicia. She tells him about the man at GH who looks exactly like James' father, Nathan. Felicia explains that when Nathan died, James hadn't even been born, and Maxie isn't here. Cody tells Felicia that until Maxie is here, they'll take things one step at a time and make sure James doesn't get hurt. At the Ashford Robinson house, Curtis asks Trina how much of the fight with her mom she overheard. Trina says the look on her mom's face learning he was with Jordan the night Drew was shot pretty much said it all. Curtis explains Jordan did not come between him and her mom, and Drew brought to the surface problems that were already there between them. He says no matter what happens, he will always love her and will always respect Porsche. Trina leaves, and Curtis and Marshall talk. Curtis comes clean and tells his dad that Drew pushed his marriage to the point of collapse, and fills Marshall in on what has happened between him and Porsche. Curtis says it comes down to the fact that he doesn't trust Porsche, and though he doesn't believe Porsche set out to lie, this is not the type of marriage he wants. Trina heads to Jordan's place and voices her fears that her parents are splitting up. They sit down, break out some wine, and after going over the events of the night, Trina asks if Jordan was a factor in her parents' problems. Jordan insists she respects her parents' marriage, and insists she and her father haven't pursued one another. Really, Jordan? Trina believes her, but she can't let her parents get a divorce. Jordan tells her there isn't anything she can do, but Trina says this is about keeping her parents out of prison, not saving their marriage. Brooke, Lynn and Ned are on a plane to Atlantic City, hoping to find Tracy at a casino. Ned tells Brooke Lynn there is something she should know, and that he had an affair with Monica. Brooke Lynn says she knows, as it's the stuff of family legends. Without going into details, which Brooke Lynn makes clear by covering her ears that she doesn't want to hear, Ned explains that he and Monica didn't know who each other was at the time, and he got to know her before family politics got involved. Ned fears he let Monica down as he spent years pursuing and double-crossing AJ. He knows Monica lived through so much loss. He doesn't want to look back on his life with regrets, And being her father is the most important thing in the world to him. Brooke Lynn knows that and how much he loves her. Tracy is drinking and gambling her money away in AC when Lois, of all people, sits down next to her at the table. Tracy can't believe her luck. Lois tips the dealer to leave them. Tracy knows Ned sent her. Lois admits it, and that they are all afraid she's about to make a major mistake she can't take back. Lois tells her that she is now the family matriarch, and she has to be at that funeral not just for the family, but because she owes it to Monica. Tracy lashes out that Monica doesn't need her to be at the funeral, and neither does anyone else. Lois says it is important to say goodbye. Ned walks in and Lois leaves them, but not before Ned gives Lois a heads up that Brooke Lynn is here too. Ned sits down with his mother, who insists Monica won't care if she's not at her funeral, because she's dead. Tracy breaks down and cries. She's sick of all the funerals she's been to, and is done burying people she loved. Nor does she want to listen to people go on about how Monica should still be with them. Lois finds Brooke Lynn on the boardwalk and surprises her with her favorite cotton candy. Brooke Lynn thanks her mom for coming, and explains that Lulu was the one who suspected Tracy would come here, as this was her and Luke's place. Lois is proud of her for working with Lulu, and she's sorry about Maxie as well. At the hospital, Nina breaks the news to Nathan that Maxie collapsed last month and is in a coma. Nathan remembers they were expecting, and Nina says the baby is now a wonderful little boy named James. At the stables, as James and Felicia head out, James wishes Cody were his father and not his uncle. Felicia and Cody exchange a look. At Jordan's, Trina tells her that her parents are trying to protect her, and if they break up, the police will have more of a motive to look at them. Jordan says this isn't her job to fix, and she needs to stay far away from this investigation, or the police might realize she could have a motive to have wanted Drew dead in order to have a heart monitor cut through the fog in Nathan West's mind. His eyelids felt heavy, but the sound nagged at him, pulling him from the blackness. Slowly, the world returned, not all at once, but in fragments. The sharp smell of antiseptic. The muffled shuffle of rubber-soled shoes on polished tile. A voice, female, trembling, saying his name. Nathan? Oh God, Nathan! He forced his eyes open. At first everything blurred, the sterile hospital lights burning his vision. Then he saw her. Maxie. Her hand clutched as tightly, her eyes wide, her face streaked with tears. She looked older, tired, but still achingly familiar. Maxie! His voice rasped, weak and unfamiliar to his own ears. What happened? Where am I? She gave a sob of relief, but something in her face flickered. Hesitation. You're at General Hospital. You've been asleep. For a long time. Nathan frowned. His chest ached with every breath, bandaged tightly. He remembered the pain, gunfire, smoke, the glint of his father's eyes. Faison. He had been shot. He remembered falling. He remembered Maxie screaming his name. How long? His throat was dry, but the words tore out anyway. How long have I been out? Maxie's hand shook in his. 7 years, she whispered. 7 years since Faison shot you. Nathan blinked at her, his mind reeling. 7 years. That couldn't be possible. He tried to sit up, but the monitor shrieked, and a sharp pain flared across his chest. Maxie pushed gently against his shoulder. Don't move. You're still healing. His heart hammered. 7 years? Maxie, that's... I don't understand. I just remember the warehouse. Faison. Nothing after that. Maxie bit her lip, and tears pooled in her eyes. She looked both overjoyed and broken. Oh, Nathan, she breathed. You don't remember. The door opened, and Finn entered, his expression cautious but professional. He checked Nathan's vitals while explaining, Your body's been in a medically induced coma most of that time. We kept you stable, but your brain... Well, memory loss isn't uncommon with trauma like yours. You're alive. Nathan. That's the miracle. But you may never get those missing years back. Nathan's head spun. He wanted to scream, to tear the wires off his body, to run back to the life he remembered. The life that felt like it had ended the night Faison pulled the trigger. No, he said hoarsely. There's no way. 7 years. That's impossible. I should be dead. Maxie squeezed his hand. You almost were. But you're here now. That's what matters. But Nathan couldn't shake the hollow ache in his chest. 7 years gone. 7 years of his life erased like they never happened. He looked into Maxie's tear-streaked face. "What about us?" His voice cracked. "Georgie." "James. Did I miss?" Maxie's sob escaped before she could hold it back. "James is so big now. He's 7. Nathan. He barely remembers you. He was just a baby. I've told him stories, shown him pictures, but—" She broke off, shaking her head. "He deserves to know you. He deserves his father." Nathan swallowed hard. A son who didn't remember him. A wife who had been alone for nearly a decade. "Maxie. I don't know how to do this," he admitted, shame flooding him. "I don't even know who I am anymore." She leaned closer, pressing his hand to her cheek. "You're Nathan West. You're my husband. You're James's father. The rest, we'll figure it out together." But there was something else lurking behind her words. Something unspoken. Nathan caught it in her eyes. The hesitation, the guilt. "What is it, Maxie?" he pressed. "What aren't you telling me?" She hesitated, her throat tightening. "Things changed while you were gone. People moved on." Her voice faltered and she glanced away. "It's complicated." Nathan's stomach twisted. He didn't have to ask. He already knew. 7 years was too long to expect someone to wait, no matter how much love there had once been. "You're with someone else," he said quietly. Her silence was the answer. The air in the room grew heavy. Nathan closed his eyes, struggling against the crushing weight of it. Maxie had fought for him, prayed for him, but life demanded she keep going. And he was frozen in time, trapped in the moment of his own death while the world kept turning without him. "Tell me who," he said finally, though his heart pounded with dread. "Don't do this now," Maxie whispered, her voice breaking. "Please. Nathan. You need to heal first." But he couldn't let it go. The pain in his chest had nothing to do with his wounds. It was the pain of losing 7 years, of realizing the life he remembered so vividly had been replaced by another. "Maxie, I need the truth. If I'm going to rebuild anything, if I'm going to be James's father again, I need honesty." Her shoulders slumped, and she looked at him with sorrow etched deep into her face. "Spinelli's been helping me with James, but he's not." She paused, shook her head. "There was someone else. Austin. And later, Dante."